Hey everyone! Today we're looking to get 100% completion in Moonstone Island. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that I usually upload videos about Stardew Valley guides, upcoming video games, or a showcase on a Stardew Valley mod or two. I heard Moonstone Island got an update recently, and after trying it out a bit this year, I wanted to experience it fully. This was one of my biggest projects ever, and I want to see if this type of video appeals to you guys. The trophy hunting bug has definitely bitten me after getting 100% completion in unpacking. There are a ton of games I still want to try out and experience fully. Also, I have a little announcement to make. Oh, welcome Jamie to the pack. He's a small Scotty with a huge personality. He loves going to the park and destroying everything in sight. And since he's a Scotty, I wanted to give him a proper Scottish name. Let go. Comment for Scotland if you want to see him in more future videos. Okay, let's get down to business. I spent around 60 hours 100%ing Moonstone Island, and these hours were some of the most fun I'd ever had in a game. Well, at first. But we'll get to that in just a sec. For now, subscribe for more videos like these, and let me know in the comments which games I should 100% next. Moonstone Island has a total of 55 trophies to obtain 100% completion. Some of these you'd unlock naturally, but others, not so much. I did check the trophy list every now and then, but otherwise I just explored and decorated to my heart's content. Our adventure starts on the farm, where we find our father waiting out in the fields. We get an overview of the farming basics, as well as a few snacks for our journey. He gave me my mother's medallion and let me in on his greatest secret. The medallion opens a portal to another dimension, where he's been raising spirits to keep me safe on the road. I remember the sheep being quite powerful, so it got picked again. You start out with 3 energy and a few cards. Each enemy has a shield you have to bring down before you can touch their health. Each spirit has an element or two they are weak or strong to. Sheep got its first skill, and I learned more about spirits from mom. I love all the cute plants in and around this farmhouse, and I promised myself I would do the same when I built my new home. Okay, bye everyone, gotta go become the greatest alchemist in the land. It started to get dark when I crash landed in some random field, and of course I instantly dropped all my stuff. I wasn't about to let this get me down. I looked around for everything before, in a classic ezlilyy move, pausing out at 2 a.m. I guess some things never change. We awoke in a strange room with an even stranger green-haired NPC named Osono. She runs the local tavern and would end up becoming the bane of my 100% run. Osono gave me the crafting recipe for a salt grate. Wow, so kind. Never mind, she already wants me to put some stone in it for her damaged basement. I also went and introduced myself around town and met another NPC called Gianna. She takes the opportunity to tell me I got a weird outfit. Well, thanks a lot, discount Haley. Somehow my parents knew my broom would break and sent over the recipe for a very convenient balloon. Pretty sure I could have figured that one out without a recipe, thanks. I said my hellos to Rowan, the convenience store owner, Paulo, the carpenter, Quill, the barman, or tavern man, Cleo, who seems to be doing some kind of spirit-related research. We won't be seeing too much of her since she disliked pretty much every gift I ever gave her. Get out of here, Cleo. I also met Farah, the cute but sooty blacksmith. Naturally, I immediately asked her on a date. While clearing some space for a tent, I came across my first mine. According to the achievement list, this is the first of 50. I ended the day taming a fluffy earth spirit to join the sheep in my party. What a day! As I hoped, day 3 was a lovely rainy day, putting me in a real catfish catching mood. I crafted 2 items I got yesterday and mined some nearby stones for Osono. I met Tobin and got the greatest gift of all, a beautiful starter fishing rod. I gave Farah some copper ore to unlock the furnace. I noticed a trend at this point. Whenever you complete an NPC quest, you'll get a new crafting recipe. This is actually worth way more than some silly friendship points if you ask me. I then met Ophelia, the local botanist, who gave us the quest to find and sell all the spring seeds. There's an achievement to completely fill the seed case, so I'll have to make sure I collect them all each season. I grabbed another essential, the warp whistle. This thing is amazing. You can use it once a day to teleport back to the statue, no matter where you are. This makes adventuring so much easier since you don't have to start heading home halfway through the day. I then met our lost stranger Zed, who studies spirits. He'll pay us for taming or defeating different spirits. He will be very important as he is my best way of earning gold in the start. When you tame or defeat spirits, you turn in some research and in turn get paid for it. Zed also requested another tamed spirit in exchange for a spirit barn. Here, an aspiring alchemist can easily house spirits and collect the resources they drop. I went back to base, crafted a furnace, and popped in some ore. Farah and I had a cute little stroll around the beach to close out another super full day. Zed ended up sending us recipes for a spirit barn, spirit nest, and spirit stole. Now we can actually start collecting these little companions. The time had come for me to explore my first dungeon of the run, unsure of what puzzles, spirits, or treasures await within. I ended up finding and taming quite a few spirits, including a fluffy-looking papas who joined our party. It was then that I stumbled upon the guardian of these depths. I defeated it after 10 very sweaty minutes and found my first ando tree. These trees give you a permanent stamina increase. This looks to be our most useful stat in the game, since the stamina meter functions as both an energy bar and a health bar. It's gonna be pretty interesting to balance daily chores and exploration with this single bar. I picked up a quest to tame 10 spirits, which happened to be the first official achievement too. I remembered that there's also an achievement for getting everyone to max hearts, so I made a mental note to gift and talk to all the townspeople I passed during the day. I finally gave fishing a shot and found it to be easier than I thought. All you have to do is follow the fish with your cursor. 1 down, 999 to go. Zed is just overjoyed to have another spirit lover in town and requested some of their resources. Each different spirit element drops a different resource once you've housed them in the spirit barn. I stopped by my best girl to trade in some iron bars for an anvil. I'm sure this will be very useful once I figure out how to use it. For the first time, I dared to cross the open sky in search of another island. The balloon can't take me very far, but it's definitely better than nothing. I gotta say, I love Moonstone Island's map. It really feels like a unique adventure, and I hope to cover every inch of this archipelago in search of all its secrets. On the new island, I quickly found my second dungeon, tamed spirits within, and faced a guardian once more. This time, I was ready for its attacks and easily defeated it for another ando tree upgrade. Outside, a very strange thing happened. I got caught in the middle of a psychic storm. Of course, at the time, I had no idea what this meant and just stood outside enjoying the shooting stars before teleporting back home. I fired up my furnace to smelt a moonstone ingot, which I needed to build a moonstone enchanter. I took the balloon out on another ride and found a beach island biome. It was home to a variety of water spirits, who I just know will be way more comfortable in my spacious spirit barn. I even got my first official achievement ding for catching 10 spirits. I also grabbed some new seeds for the farm, and I guess not every island has a dungeon to find. That's kinda disappointing, but I'm sure that will just make finding them much more rewarding. Back home, I crafted a new broom for faster traveling. Bye bye balloon. I was starting to get really into the game, but still had loads to learn. To my disappointment, I found that none of the NPCs work on a Sunday. Happily, I realized this means I have more time to go island hopping. My path crossed with that of a brick house.
It's better.
Just listen to that name.
Confidence.
brick house.
You're coming home with me.
My journey was then interrupted by a very strange chicken-legged house. It's the home of the mysterious magic man, who seems to have gone a little crazy. I wonder if the memory shards I found down in the dungeons could help. Also, a mysterious magic bachelor with a walk-in house. Hal, is that you?
That's my girl.
I found my third dungeon and spent the rest of the day clearing it before facing off against another guardian. I managed to survive the encounter and walked away with another all-important stamina upgrade. Zed decided to finally show up to work again so I could hand in my weekend spirit research. With 3 different spirit types following me around, I got another achievement on my way to do some more flying. I came across a spring temple where Magic Man tasked me with its repair. Temples are actually kinda great. You unlock a new tool at the start, and there are several places where you need to offer items to the temple. A cattail and a stone fruit granted me access, and I defeated the enemies inside to find another offering table. It required clay, so my progress was halted for the moment, and squashed a long log for a new tool that lets your plants grow faster. I guess I would rather have it than not. Zed rewarded us with spirit lenses to see the levels of wandering spirits. I am pretty chuffed because I wouldn't want to accidentally face an over-leveled spirit, especially when my flights start getting further and longer. I tamed some more spirits out in the great outdoors, including a watery fishbowl. This reminds me of that fish dude from Umbrella Academy. I think he gets eaten at some point. I love Fishbowl already, and he will be joining the little family soon. I found a dungeon on this beach island, but passed out facing off against a trio of spirits. That'll be our first death of the 9 whole days. To my surprise, I awoke in Magic Man's little house. Moonstone Island is quite gracious after you pass out, where your only penalty appears to be waking up at 9 AM. I'm counting it as a win. I returned to the beach dungeon again to get my sweet revenge and quickly slayed the guardian within. After that first failure, I was paying a lot more attention to my stamina bar. I began avoiding combat with spirits I'd already encountered, which already helped me finish off yet another dungeon and guardian for our second memory shard and stamina upgrade of the day. I paused my exploration to gather the last of the resources I needed for the spirit barn. Papa's took its leave from the party to be our barn's first resident. Zed tasked me with finding a psychic spirit which only spawns during, you guessed it, a psychic storm. I found out this is actually the shooting star event that I've seen before. Seems like it's pretty rare, so I'll just have to be ready when it happens again. I filled the spirit barn with the eggs I found so far and officially added Fishbowl to the squad. Fishbowl has this awesome passive ability it yields every time I use an item. Only one death run, let's go. The very next day, Poppus dropped the clay I needed to advance in the spring temple. Thanks a lot, Poppus. Very cool. Deeper into the temple I went and up popped a wildwood. Unfortunately for the wildwood, my level 14 sheep is doing more and more fire damage every day. I burnt the tree to a crisp and claimed an earth seal. I'm sure I'll be able to use it for something powerful later on. I found a whole new island type filled with random lightning attacks. They don't sting too badly, so we'll just tank them for now. I managed to tame a few spirits before taking too many zaps and even stopped for some fishing. Here I got a very unexpected achievement for catching 2 boots in a row.
These boots are made for walking.
These islands keep getting crazier and crazier. Next, I found one completely on fire. I'm definitely not tanking this one. I grabbed the first item I saw and got out there as fast as possible. My trusty broom carried me onward to another elemental land mass. This one filled to the brim with poison. I tamed the spirit here but got too greedy and passed out trying to get another one. I don't even know Magic Man that well, but yet again, I'm waking up in his bed. I set up a crafting table and a decoration station and took a proper day off turning my small little house into a small little home. I got a mail from Paulo asking for some specific type of spirit. I think each villager will have a quest like this and end up with a cute little spirit following them around. Just before the week ends, I asked Farah out for another date in 2 days. I rounded off the second week catching a poison spirit and finding an electric dungeon. This dungeon was much tougher than the ones I found before it, especially once I got to the Guardian. It had the audacity to lay me down for an unscheduled nap. Please save me just one more time, Magic Man. The morning came and Magic Man didn't even offer me coffee. Just wow. I really had to rethink my approach to stop passing out. I dropped off some more seeds at Ophelia and stopped by Paulo to buy my first house upgrade. I'm adding a north wing, which got us another trophy. I awoke to my house with its new little northern room. This would become the new bedroom and I spent more time redecorating this place. When I finally left the house, I saw a mail from Zed with a recipe for the moon grass spirit stole. These stoles automatically feed the spirits inside it, meaning they'll keep dropping resources. I will need a moonstone to craft one though. Maybe I'll find a moonstone on an island, you know. What do you know? I have one in my bag already. I went mining and ended up getting pretty stoned. Blaze it. I spent the next morning replenishing my wood levels before heading for my date with Farah. We spent the night appraising each other before Farah started getting cold. I guess she missed the heat of the furnaces. I walked her home, of course. It's only my second date, but I'm already loving this romance feature. It gives you the chance to really connect with your interests, instead of just getting a cutscene every now and then. I had so much fun with Farah that I threw caution to the wind and immediately asked her out to the beach again. I used my seeds and these neat little cobblestone paths to make another crop field and set my sights on the open sky once more. And yes, I made sure to find a low-level island to get my spirits some much-needed XP. All this hunting was enough to level up Spiromancy to tame spirits up to level 20. I visited Farah at her forge to grab a scythe upgrade, since it seems like one of our more useful tools. This blade allows you to turn crops into seeds and can do the same for forgeables on higher level fire and lightning islands. It was also time for Brickhouse to leave the party. Despite literally being built like a brick house, it was costing me a lot of battles. That's right, Brickhouse, I blame you. Birdbrain quickly stepped up to prove its strength. I then headed into a nearby dungeon where Birdbrain was actually able to hold its own. I beat the Guardian at the end, but shockingly, I rushed home to make my date with Farah before touching the Ando tree. It looks like touching the tree counts a dungeon as completed, so I would have to return. Me and Farah spent some time talking and decided that we should create some of our own history. We almost kissed, but Farah doesn't kiss on work nights. Oh, it looks like she was just teasing, and the date ends by strongly hinting we kissed at her house. How cute! I'd finally gathered enough moonstone ingots to craft a glider. Now we can travel even faster. The world is really feeling like an unexplored oyster right now, since I'm no longer restricted by a tiny little flying bar and I can actually change direction in midair. I was surprised by another psychic storm, and while I didn't find any spirits, I did get a yarrow seed, which was the last one I needed to find here. Tobin, the local fisherman, wants a spirit of his own, so I went out exploring and found another dungeon. I made it through successfully and felled the Guardian without breaking a sweat. I wasn't gonna forget the tree again. Magic Man's moving castle found me again, so I restored a bit more of his memory with the shards I found so far. Discount Howl is kinda growing on me, but how can he even see with all those cards in his face? It was time for me and my future blacksmith bae to check out the local tavern together, and she agreed. Only then I upgraded my hoe and the watering can. In a Poison Island dungeon, I found the raddest of lads to add to the squad. The boss fight at the end also went pretty rad, as Shimp quickly turned the Guardian to ashes. I was so proud of Shimp that I again forgot to touch the Ando tree. Little did I know, this would end up working in my favor. Day 23's footage got a little scattered, but I was mostly just foraging and fighting merrily along. Bird Brain went back to the spirit barn and got replaced by Armbot, who increases item pickup range by 2 tiles. Hey, it's better than nothing. I stopped by Terra just to get a horrible realization. Something that I also did yesterday was miss my tavern date with Terra. How terrible. I guess our relationship is a bit rocky at the moment. With my new and improved spirits, I went off flying once again and made it through a nearby lightning dungeon. Unfortunately, this guardian caught me a little off guard with its strong attack, earning me my 4th death of the run. At this point, I realized I was either missing some super important part of combat or maybe just roaming around seriously underleveled. Magic Man came to my rescue once more. For the first time after respawning, I didn't even go home but went straight back to the island to slay my slayer. The cards were falling well and the guardian hit the floor. I gathered some wood and asked Terra if she could ever forgive me for standing her up. As spring was coming to an end, I went out searching for more spirits to house and somehow found the Fall Temple. I love this cute mushroom-covered biome, but made sure to not waddle since I had a date to get to. Farah was happy to see me and we walked down the beach again. I sold some more seeds to Ophelia, so now I'm only missing 3 more seeds to complete this spring seed collection. It looks like I'll have to upgrade my scythe again to get some of the more elusive plants. I went out in search of another dungeon, but didn't feel too confident going up against another guardian, so I warped home instead. You better count your lucky stars, you guardian.
I'll be back.
I spent the rest of the day expanding the spirit barn and decorating the inside of my little tent. On the final day of spring, Magic Man decided he wants a fishbowl all for himself. That's easy peasy for a master spirit catcher. During my daily travels, I locate the summer temple just in time for the coming season. Magic Man says there's a water seal inside, so I gave him a couple more memory shards. Then it was time for, you guessed it, a do-over of my tavern date with Terra. I choose honestly and tell her that muscly mamas are my greatest weakness. All in all, I feel I achieved a lot this season. I got my shimp in my pocket and I'm ready to explore. It's summer. I started off by getting some new seeds for the seasonal collection and planted the rest. I wanna get 8 hearts with Terra, so I asked her out to the nearby hot springs. I just love how unique each of these summer crops look. I headed straight to the summer temple. I offered a beach peach and a pinwheel flower to gain entry to this beautifully constructed place. There's water all around, so I tamed a dropple and defeated a wave of enemies to get flippers. Now I can actually swim across water. My wood reserves are really gonna love this. I crafted a lantern to progress deeper into the temple and happened to have the next offerings on me as well. I came face to face with Titan and managed to overpower it. At what cost? Shim took one for the team because I guess water is just his worst weakness. I tucked the water seal away for later and headed back home. My wood reserves were looking well, and I even had enough to upgrade the spirit barn. Of course, now I have nothing left. I collected a few more seeds and met up with Farah at the steamy hot springs. We had a lovely discussion about, bugs. Yep, I sold the seeds I needed to Guyana. Now I just need to find everything else. It should be easy, right? I got an achievement for reaching 8 hearts with Farah and spent the day collecting seeds and moonstones to ask her out. I was having such a fun time flying between pretty islands that I wasn't really looking at my stamina until the inevitable happened. I passed out from 0 stamina while in the air. I guess Magic Man was flying nearby. I crafted a moonstone bracelet for Farah, but already gave her 2 gifts for the week. Guess I'll have to make it to Monday to ask her out. Dang it, Ophelia got her seeds and I decorated my humble abode some more. I tamed a poisonous emo shroom and got the trophy for banishing 200 spirits. Literally the next day, Gianna requested a poison spirit type. So bye bye emo shroom. I actually love that Gianna and her spirit have the same hairstyle. I found another dungeon which I quickly cleared and finally remembered to claim the stamina upgrade at the end. I found the Winter Temple as well, and of course Magic Man was already there to tell me about its seal. These are gonna be at the top of my to-do list every time the new season comes around. Monday had finally arrived, so I gifted Farah a moonstone bracelet to be my girlfriend. I caught this cute little tree stump and dropped it off for Polo. I got the recipe for a loom to craft my own wallpaper and flooring. Wow, I love that you can craft your own decorations since I'm used to having to buy or get them as gifts. I managed to make this neat block wallpaper. I got pretty lucky with canvassing a beach island when Magic Man himself showed up. I quickly caught the fishbowl he requested, and Waldo got his little friend. In the spirit of gifting spirits to NPCs, Gianna got her emo shroom as well. Remember to drink enough water, girl. She was so happy she was willing to give me a free plant from her shop, which was just huge for my decorating journey. This gave me the idea to go back to the botanist to look for another free plant, and wouldn't you know it, I walked away with a free lily. I guess that was a easy lily to get. I hung out with Farah, who said she feels a bit trapped sometimes. I said I'd love to take her out flying someday. Thank goodness I'm not floating around with a balloon anymore. I've been hoarding tons of treasure maps, so I went out prospecting for the day. I found one and dug up another before heading into a nearby dungeon. I had capacity because it can come back once with a few hit points, which I think is pretty overpowered. This little bee zoomed fast enough to fell the guardian, but I wasn't fast enough to make it back to bed, so I passed out once again. It still feels bad when you pass out. You don't get any severe penalties or setbacks. This small element makes Moonstone Island much more accessible to a casual gamer and really removes the stress of dying in a video game. As we approach day 40, I've cleared 8 out of 30 dungeons, found 41 out of 84 spirits, and tamed a total of 60. So, not too bad so far. This counter actually reminded me to go touch the few anda trees I've missed. Of course, I had been recording the run so they weren't too difficult to find. I even found a new dungeon and put its guardian to the bee. Clearing 3 dungeons in a day is a real pro gamer move, so I got the most pro gamer achievement of them all. It's nice to see game developers give shout out to content creators. How cool is that? I beat another poison guardian and gave Zed an armbot to get the recipe for a beacon. I am definitely gonna use this.
Are you sure about that?
I did some more dungeon crawling and went on a cute date with Farah to unwind at the end of the day. I chopped enough trees to buy another sweet house upgrade. This time, it's an east wing. I sold a few more seeds and spent the rest of the day decorating the outside and inside of my expanding home. Another dungeon cleared and the morning was spent decorating my new eastern nook. I think it looks absolutely adorable. Right after this, I suddenly remembered seeing that 1000 fish achievement. So it was finally time to start fishing again.
This is where the fun begins.
I have a bad feeling about this. With my wood reserves depleted once again, it was time to buy my way to an iron axe. And wow, does this thing really mow 'em down.
Shame on you. For shame.
It's day 46 and I'm still trying to find some more moonstones on these islands. I guess they're easier to find at night, and while looking for them, I caught a psychic storm again. I was determined to catch some of these spirits. I managed to snag a bunch of psychic spirits, but another psychic type got away and our dear little alchemist fell exhausted to her knees for definitely not the last time. I stopped by my crush again to get a moonstone quality scythe for collecting crop seeds on dark islands. Of course, I immediately headed to one of these islands for seeds, and even slayed its guardian on the way out. I was able to get the lost seed I needed from the stamina-draining island before pausing out for the second day in a row. Now that I started pushing for these achievements and realized there's no real penalty for pausing out, still it's nice to sleep in a bed. I headed to Ophelia with the new seeds I've collected, just to see I need only one more for the season's seed case. I bought a few XP boosting crop seeds as well and made sure to plant them before heading out into the big wide world. I found a pretty tough dungeon and actually spent a solid hour battling its many foes. I fought through well over 10 battles, but inevitably they all fell in the end. I hadn't expected such a lengthy challenge, so I missed a date with Farah for the second time. I'll make it up to you, I promise. It was for a good cause. Asana must have realized how awesome capacities are and asked for one of her very own. Bye bye, little bee. Farah was pretty mad at me for missing our date, but hey, what's she gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I stayed up late hoping to find a psychic storm to go spirit catching in. I did end up finding one, but passed out just before I could get what I needed. I reached day 50 and decided to grab a few easy achievements to celebrate this milestone. One of these wants you to give every villager some fiber, but of course Magic Man is nowhere to be found. I went out searching for a storm again, but ironically enough, passed out after getting struck by lightning. I guess I could end the day with a new achievement after all. The achievements were coming in thick and fast. I got one for getting saved by Magic Man 5 nights in a row and went around town getting rejected 3 times for another. My little alchemist's heart might be kinda shattered right now. At 8 p.m, I finally found the storm, but I wasn't able to locate the lost summer seed I needed. As a consolation, I did get my 3rd achievement of the day for taming a grand total of 69 spirits. Nice! For all my catches the day before, one really stood out. Magicat. It has this awesome ability that upgrades a random card in your hand every turn. And did I mention it's super adorable? Buzz on out of here, Capacity. There's a new sheriff in town. I had gotten enough gold, wood, and stone to swing by Paolo for the 2nd floor house upgrade. And while exploring at night, I actually found that pesky lost seed I was looking for.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
I got a fair amount of gold for completing the Summer Seed quest, and afterwards Zed gave me a quest to tame a dark spirit. All of these that I've seen were level 50 minimum, so Zed will just have to wait a bit. I couldn't end the day without another achievement, so I got my 2 slimes to follow me around outside. My XP boosting plants were finally ready for harvest, just in time for Magicat's arrival. My new kitty gets a good munch. Since the house got another expansion, I spent the day on a very important mission: decorate the new bedroom. I'm pretty chuffed with the final result.
Wow.
I went out treasure hunting and got back to bed just before passing out. I love how some of these trophies unlock from unexpected things that will naturally happen at some point in the game. Some of them, at least. I crafted my first greenhouse and filled it to the brim with many seeds. I got into battle with a low-level bee and failed to flee 3 times from combat. Thanks a lot, little bee. It was a really successful day. I even had enough time left to find and clear another dungeon. Quill sent me a mail asking for a soft and huggable spirit to call his own. Well, okay, don't blame me when your house burns down. It was only right that my home's exterior got decoration too. I added a pool and poolside accessories and headed back inside to cozy up the dining room. I love this place so much already. While out exploring, Magic Man made a very welcome appearance. I used the memory shards I'd found to complete his mirror. It seems to create some kind of portal. I'm gonna wait to get a few more levels before venturing in there. I even remembered to gift a lost piece of fiber for yet another achievement. At this point, I was feeling very good about the run. I'd gotten a bunch of trophies over the past few days, and things were looking up as we said goodbye to summer. So what did I do on the first day of fall? Well, I low-key forgot to record most of the day, so we'll never know. While the gameplay was going smoothly, I was being terrorized by the little Jamie so much I straight up just forgot to hit record. What did I do on this mysterious day? It's a mystery we will never know. I dropped off my 20th seed at Ophelia. I went out gliding again. I had a relaxing cruise past the different biomes for more seeds and eventually reached a fire island. My spirits were finally strong enough to hold their own against these fiery fiends. So I even managed to tame a few. My foraging was not in vain, and on day 3 of fall, I only needed 4 more seeds for the seed case. I found a spot for my new fiery friends and collected enough spirit resources for a nice bit of extra coin. To finish off the day, I bonked another guardian into submission. The next morning, I went out on a much longer flight to collect some dark island seeds, and even happened upon a psychic storm nearby, where I happily grabbed the last few fall seeds that I needed. I completed the fall seed collection within the first week, so it's good not to worry about that again until winter. I went on a chopping rampage to give my wood reserves a much needed boost and didn't forget to plant the tree seeds I'd found. After all that chopping, I expanded my crop fields and decorated it with more cobblestone paths. I planted some mushroom seeds with some fertilizer to boost my crop's yielding abilities. As the first week of fall came to an end, I set out to the fall temple. I gave up a grumpkin and a spiky plant to gain entrance to this colorful area. This is definitely my favorite one so far, especially with all the cute little mushrooms everywhere. My spirits proved again that they are a force to be reckoned with, and I got a boomerang for clearing the first wave of foes. I went back to get what I needed for the second offering and rested for the challenge ahead. The first few enemies fell easily, but sure enough, the temple was home to a fierce-looking snapdragon. Once again, Shimp and his fiery personality had to step in to save the day.
Flashes around the arena, rather reminiscent of when Kathy Freeman.
I was rewarded with the poison seal for completing this mushroomy temple and decided to spend some quality time with Tobin and his craft. We fished all night and I couldn't be happier with how the season is going so far. It was time to bring some life to my home, so I headed to Ophelia's and bought all the adorable plants I could.
I'll take your entire stock!
My living room has never looked cozier. The next day, I realized Ophelia restocks her plants, so naturally, I bought some more. I saw Tobin's hearts were actually the lowest of all, so I asked him to join me on the beach later this week. Of course, I then went to reassure Farah that things between me and the fisherman were purely platonic. I even brought her the fuzzy spirit she wanted, and she returned the favor by teaching me how to craft an upgraded furnace. Now, I can actually burn much more ore at a time, and at 3 times the speed. Thanks, girl, you rocks. Tobin told me that there are different legendary fish to be found in each biome, so I headed to an electric island. With this recent spurt of fishing, I limped towards the 100 fish achievement. Since it was already day 60, I was only a 10th of the way to the ever-looming 1000 fish trophy. Back I went to Ophelia's the next day to upgrade the greenhouse, and yes, you guessed it, to buy some more plants. These plants were actually helping me spend some much needed time decorating at home instead of constantly searching for more dungeons. I met up with Tobin at the beach, who told me he does feel lonely all by himself, so I did what I could to lift his spirits. I tried to ask Tobin out again the next day, but he apparently had enough of me for the time being, so I went fishing for the rest of the day. I was still not over Tobin's brutal rejection. This time, I sold him all the fish I'd caught before asking him out, and it was a massive success. I played a sublime energy boosting card to get over 10 energy for the first time. It was all thanks to Magicat, my psychic pal. The dungeon didn't stand a chance against this overpowered kitty, and I pretty much felt like I could take over the entire world at this point. Cleo asked for a dark wolf spirit, but I'm sure I'd get destroyed if it found me. I realized Cleo and I have barely talked, so I asked her on a friendly date. I decorated some more and lit up my homestead to navigate it easier at night. And wouldn't you know it, I even got an achievement for crafting 1,000 items. I was so obsessed with decorating my home that I completely forgot about my meetup with lonely Tobin. He was kinda upset but cheered him up after I told him a joke. Sorry Tobin. I ventured into a fire dungeon and crushed the enemies in my way. I even tamed a few for the barn and got an achievement for taming a total of 100 spirits. I put some plants around my bedroom and finally crafted that upgraded furnace. I met up with my stinky arch nemesis Cleo and didn't enjoy it one bit. I got the friendship points and got the heck out of there. Chop chop, and I placed a few more plants to get my greatest achievement yet. Over the next 5 days, I went out fishing and exploring. It was a nice change from decorating and boosting my friendship around town. Just good old-fashioned exploring. I tried my luck for a legendary fish in lava and cleared a whole 3 dungeons. My spirits were getting stronger and stronger, and I was making good progress towards clearing every dungeon. I actually never stopped organizing the spirits I've tamed, so I put them all together by type. I didn't realize how full the barn was getting, and I was using up all of my hard-earned crops. Yes, we need more Moonstone stalls ASAP. It's day 79, and the main island is beginning to look kinda barren. Well, that just means more space for decorations. Yay! I went down into the mines to gather some more ore and stone and got the achievement for going down 10 mines. I asked Cleo on a date again. She's lucky she only needs 3 more hearts to go before I can ignore her again. All that resource gathering finally paid off as I was able to upgrade my greenhouse to the max. It earned me the 10 green fingers achievement, and I decided to embrace this title by planting trees all across the main island. I'm absolutely loving the size of this new greenhouse, and I spent the morning crafting sprinklers and planting the seeds I had laying around. I downed another dungeon and spent most of the next day chopping every tree in sight. While out exploring, Magic Man's chicken-footed residence crossed my path once more. I decided to step into his magic mirror. It transported me to a faraway dark island where I found out how to use those seals I've been gathering from different temples. Only the winter seal to go, and I'll be able to seal this ominous-looking rift. I was flying around, minding my business, and decided to try my luck at a dark island. I came upon a level 58 dark spirit and took it on. It was a tense moment, but I managed to tame it in the end. The glorious catch above level 50 gave me an achievement, and I even got a dark egg to hatch. The last day of fall was pretty eventful. A rare earth spirit hatched, and the game got its anticipated cooking update with a whole collection of new decorations as well. I'm happy to be ending the season with such a bang. On the first day of winter, I found a surprise awaiting in the mail. Ophelia was asking for an ice spirit on the very first day of winter. I guess she really can't wait. Also, wow, I had no idea there were ice spirits in the game. There was still so much to do. I had to catch 1,000 fish, earn 2 million gold, tame every single spirit, and collect every seed. It was time for the next house upgrade, so I bought a whole new basement upgrade. I really love the progression of our home and the main island in general. The decorations in this game are some of the cutest I've ever seen, and I love that I've even gotten trophies for decorating. I ended the day traveling far and wide to collect as many winter seeds as I could. Osono sent over the cookbook recipe, and I can't wait to flex my cooking skills in-game. Since I'd spent so much time decorating my existing rooms, the newly added basement will be perfect for my kitchen. I still have to collect the ingredients to craft the cookbook itself, so I headed to the Winter Temple instead. I slayed a few enemies and obtained a very useful teleporter for my brutality. This amazing tool can teleport you short distances, which can finally get us past those pesky walls blocking the way. It's so good. I finished off the enemies on the next level as well and had time to find and complete a Fire Island dungeon. I hung around too long after clearing this one though and came across the most dangerous foe in this archipelago. A wild chimp appeared and completely wrecked my exhausted party. My disappointment was short-lived as I found my dark egg had finally hatched to earn me another achievement. I finished the final stage of the Winter Temple to earn the electric seal and a corresponding achievement for completing every temple. I journeyed back to the Dark Island and placed the final seal, only to be thrown into battle against this absolute tank. It had over 1000 HP, but the fight was actually quite straightforward in the end. For successfully closing the rift, another achievement popped, and Magic Man was overjoyed. I also collected winter seeds on the Dark Island, so I'd already found each and every one for this season. I handed them into Ophelia. I guess now I just gotta wait for spring to finish this achievement. Magic Man expressed his thanks with the recipe for the magnificent Moonstone machine. This wonderful machine produces a moonstone each day. This definitely makes that 2 million gold seem much more doable. I upgraded the Spirit Barn for almost the last time and happily found out that Magic Man has now permanently moved to the main island. I wasted no time and asked him out. Esono even wants to throw a party next Friday for me closing that pesky rift. Say no more, friends. I'll be there. Ophelia got a frost spirit and I checked my heart level to see who needed my attention the most. To no one's surprise, Cleo had the fewest hearts of anyone, along with Magic Man, but that was about to change. I gathered all the wood and stone I could before meeting up with Magic Man at the beach. We casually spoke about saving the whole world, you know, just usual first date chats. It was Rowan's turn to ask for a spirit, so I blessed him with the most powerful and cutest one in the whole game. That's right, he got his very own sheep. For giving him a spirit, as thanks he gave me the best gift ever. Some dancing shoes to bust a move anytime and anywhere. I ended off the day catching some more frost spirits since I needed one of each spirit for an achievement. I could finally afford the Lost Spirit Barn upgrade and earn myself yet another achievement. Zed got all my spirit resources and I unlocked the spirit brush. I celebrated getting the brush by sweeping through another dungeon and its guardian. I stopped by Farah for a chat and she doesn't seem to mind that I've been going on dates to boost my friendship around town. Anyway, I upgraded some more tools and cleared yet another dungeon before going on my long-awaited date with Magic Man. He got a little drunk, I think, and thanked me for the third time for saving the day. You're still welcome, Magic Man. On day 95, my exploration paid off as I found and cleared the final 2 dungeons in the game. This one was kinda huge, as you can't always tell if an island is gonna have one of these when you fly by. My new crops were also giving back as I managed to sell one for over 200 gold. Asona let me take a look at her basement, which used to be home to a cult. What is this? A crossover episode? Today was supposed to be the end of the Rift party, but for some crazy reason, the calendar decided my date with Magic Man was more important. Bad. The date wasn't too bad, but I honestly still had much more fun getting to know Farah. I tamed a few more frost spirits that I hadn't found yet and set up my new moonstone machines in the basement. I flirted with Cleo outside to finally reach 8 hearts and earn the achievement that I have been working since day 1 for. Isona's basement turned out to be an endless dungeon where you can defeat a few waves of spirits for a reward. And and then do it all over again. Maybe there is a way to beat it, but I didn't see any achievement for doing so. See ya never, basement. I couldn't afford the last few basement upgrades, so I went out and found 1, 2, 3, 4 whole mines to clear for more resources. On day 101, I expanded the basement and found more mines to strip clean. I spent the night in Farah's bed just to reassure her not to worry about me flirting with every single person I've come across. I could now collect and refine moonstones infinitely, and made sure to stop by my rapidly filling barn to pet my many tamed spirits. I sold the resources at Zed's and could finally afford the max level basement upgrade. This is a huge moment for the trees of the archipelago, since they no longer have to fear for their lives when they see the alchemist approaching. It was also Friday, so it was time for the postponed rift party. I hung out with my friends and busted out my sickest dance moves. Over the next week, I smelted as many moonstones as I could, sold more spirit stuff at Zed's, and got to know Magic Man better. Mom and Dad visited my dreams to tell me how proud they are of my progress, and that I got the best possible result from my alchemist exam. For this wonderful result, I got a helpful buff making spirits easier to tame. Thanks, you guys! It's the final day of winter, which brings year 1 to an end as well. In the spirit of endings, I broke up with Farah and flew to a dark island to tame 2 powerful new spirits. I'm officially in my villain era. It's been an amazing first year, but I still didn't want to watch the New Year fireworks alone. Luckily, Magic Man was more than happy to join me for the show. Out with the old and in with the new. As year 2 rolled around, I asked Magic Man and got an elusive romance achievement, and tried my hand at cooking, and let's just say there's a lot of room for improvement. Next time, I'll get it for sure. I spent my days exploring the furthest parts of the world. While at the barn, I hatched the final spirit I needed to make me the very best like no one ever was. I also found the lost seeds I needed to finally complete the seed case at Ophelia's. All those moonstone machines in the basement got my earnings all the way up to 7 figures. I celebrated by placing a secluded little treehouse on the outermost ring of islands. I put up a little fence and came across my first holographic spirit. I'd never seen anything like it, and managed to tame it for this spirit barn. I reached another milestone for finding 50 mines. Less than 10 achievements to go. I finally managed to catch a legendary Fire Island fish after weeks of trying, and sold it to Tobin for the strongest fishing rod in the game. It took 66 days to reach the 100th fish achievement, so I've been fishing whenever I got the chance. I flew all the way to a dark island to fish some more, and only stopped to go on the occasional walk with my dearest Magic Man. Farah kept her professional cool as I popped by daily to sell moonstone ingots. My mom could sense things were getting serious between me and someone, so she sent over the recipe for a wedding ring. I grabbed the ingredients I needed and crafted this precious item for my love. I asked Magic Man to marry me 2 days later. I don't know what it is about him, but he really has a face that reminds me of a home. The day of the wedding arrived. There must be a lot of them in this world since it only took a few days to set up. Mom and Dad made a surprise appearance, and there was even space for my spirit friend in the ceremony. We both said I do's and hopped on a balloon ride into the sunset. To end off this beautiful day, I earned 2 achievements in one shot. One for getting married and one for Magic Man being the blushing groom. After another week of smelting and selling moonstone ingots, my totals passed the 2 million mark. It took another 2 weeks of constant fishing to get the trophy that has been the bane of my existence from the very start. That's right, I finally caught 1,000 fish. So I spent about 8 hours fishing to catch the fish I still needed. I swear, if I never see this little circle again, it will be too soon. I had another achievement that required a little effort. The one where you mustn't pass out for a full year. Look, Mom, I slept for 56 days straight. For the last few trophies, I had to bring Fishbow down to 1 HP before fleeing battle, and then I had to use that 1 HP Fishbow to win a battle. I can only imagine the stress of accidentally getting this trophy naturally. I was also tasked with taking Hopstraw, Flamane, and Armbot for a little stroll around town, which left me with a single achievement to reach 100%. For this one, I'd have to pause out from eating one of Isono's daily dishes. Her meals have random effects, including one that drains your stamina. The cooking update released with a tiny bug. Isono's dishes had no effect on the alchemist. If only I tried getting this one earlier. I thought my 100% journey had reached a terrible end, but thankfully this glitch got patched out a few days later. On day 205, just around the start of winter year 2, I lucked out with the perfect dish and heard the trophy ding of destiny. What a journey it was! I adored the way Moonstone Island handled exploration and progression with its unique approach to the map and the added element of turn-based spirit combat. This game feels like a fiery creative tribute to Pokemon as well. Let's have a quick tour of my island home. The entrance hall is filled with shoes and plants, and there's this cute little sitting room and dining area that's also packed with leafy friends. The dining and bedroom both have this pretty handsome wallpaper that I made myself, and there's even space for an art studio. Then in the basement we have our Moonstone moneymakers, the kitchen, and this cute little living area. The finishing touch is this glorious Fishbow statue. Would you believe this was my first time ever getting 100% for a game? You'd think I have 100% in Stardew Valley by now, but longtime viewers will remember I came quite close before a lightning storm destroyed my hard drive. I hope for Moonstone Island to be the start of a new trend for the channel. I love discovering new worlds, and indie games famously have amusing and achievable trophies on the way to 100%. Moonstone Island feels very connected to its genre, with tons of little shoutouts and Easter eggs from other popular games. The game also does decorating 1000% correctly. It was easy to do, and most importantly, very relaxing as well. Exploring the archipelago can get kinda stressful, so it's nice to take a mental break to make your house look pretty. If you watch this far, you are a true Lillian. What game should I 100% next? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe for more ezlilyy. This video took just over a month to make, so your support doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.